Hello, Namaskar viewers. I am Sanjeev Pandya welcoming you to another episode of the Business Talk with AJ right here on ITV Gold, our first show of the year 2023. Wish you all once again a very happy new year. Hope you have had a wonderful New Year celebrations. And now we're back to work with, of course, a lot more responsibilities. As you know, January is the one when the tax season slowly starts and really goes into the full gear from end of January till April. When it comes to taxes, your personal taxes, your corporate taxes, Sai CPA Services can definitely assist you all the way, and they will make sure that you file your taxes right, you get your deductions right, and you also get the refund that you are eligible for. And that's what Sai CPA Services is all about. They have on hand their trained CPAs. They will help you either by phone, Zoom service, Facebook, in person, or in call-in. It's all possible at Sai CPA Services. They can be reached at 908-380-6876 or visit their website saicpaservices.com. As we go along, we'll continue to give you more information about taxes and Sai CPA Services. But first of all, business comes first, and that first business is to introduce you Mr. AJ Kumar of Sai CPA Services. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you, Sanjeevji. I appreciate that, and Happy New Year to you.
Yes.
And to all our viewers.
Happy New Year 2023. One of my immediate goals is to make sure that I get tax refund.
Absolutely. And a lot of people will be getting the tax refund. So the key is file the taxes sooner. If you file your taxes in February, you will get the refund in as low as 1 week. If you file the taxes in April, the same refund will take you 4 weeks because the traffic is too much in April compared to February.
Okay, so file your taxes as soon as possible. All right, we'll do that. We'll talk about taxes as we go along, but business is the first.
Absolutely.
All right, we start with the stock market. Stock market really took a nosedive down a couple of days ago, over 300 points.
Absolutely. So stock market has been turbulent. We have been covering the stock market in all our shows, and for most of the period, it has been unpredictable, turbulent. One day it's high, one day it's low. We have seen consistently that it has gone down. If you look at the full year, the stock market was down almost 40% last year. The stock market is going to remain like this, around 10,000 for Dow Jones. But we have to see what happens in Ukraine, how the war comes around, what happens with COVID situation. We know a lot of scary news are happening in China. We have certain restrictions in some countries that are being put on right now. So we'll have to see how this whole situation unfold. If you recall, in 2019, the COVID actually started in October, November, but by the time it came to United States, it was late February, early March. So we are keeping our fingers crossed. It's the same routine, same thing is repeating itself. China has been putting some numbers, scary numbers for COVID since October, November. We are hoping this will not have that much of an impact because a lot of US population has already been vaccinated. So we'll see how things goes. If we see a lot of people getting COVID, or if we see Ukraine war getting worse, then the stock market can have really, really severe impact on it.
All right, COVID, this is the third year of COVID. This is the third anniversary of COVID, and COVID is still around in the news when it comes to business, and I think it will remain so. So thank you for that update.
Absolutely.
Now let's bring in the Fed chairman's point here about increasing Fed rate in order to still control the inflation.
So that's one part of the story. When we talk about federal chairman, we have to see not what's being said, we have to see what's being implied. So not only they said that they will increase the rate in February, and the rate increase may not be as high as 75 basis point, it may be as low as 25 basis point. But what they implied, the intent behind what they said was that in 2023, they don't intend to be lowering the rate. So even though Fed may not increase the rate after February, but the rate that we have currently is extremely high, the highest that we have seen in a decade.
Yes.
So that being said, if that rate does not come down, so the situation, the economic condition is going to remain dire, is going to remain tough in the near foreseeable future when we talk about 2023.
All right, and when you talk about economic conditions, if it's going to be bleak in the year 2023, at least the first part of the year 2023, in the corporate world, the employers have come up with something very interesting. It's called quiet hiring. That means they're not going to make a fuss about employees that they're going to hire. First, they're going to hire them as a on a part-time base or on a trial base to see that how employees really are productive for that organization, corporation. And then they're going to have them come in on a board as a full-time. So this is a new term called quiet hiring.
Absolutely, Sanjeevji. And this quiet hiring only works in a downturn economic condition. If the economic conditions are really great, if there is no unemployment, then quiet hiring does not work. Nobody will sign up for a job where you will be on trial for 3 months, 6 months. But in today's market condition, when everybody is laying off, there is high unemployment rate. Now these companies, the bigger companies, can afford to go with quiet hiring. I'll give you a try, but you will be on temporary job or some sort of a conditional job for first 3 months to 6 months.
Yep.
This only works in a downturn, in a difficult economic situation.
Exactly. And when obviously, when the employers are not sure about, inflation or recession, everyone says it's around the corner, but how severe it's going to be or what kind of impact it will
Absolutely.
have. That's why this is the new term now. It's called quiet hiring.
Absolutely.
Now, after quiet hiring, let's move to the story, which is obviously in the news, and everyone is really paying attention. Amazon is going to be cutting 18,000 jobs.
So from Amazon perspective, 18,000 jobs is not a lot of number, but 18,000 families not having a consistent source of income is still a lot of people. We were expecting initially Amazon to lay off about 10,000 people, but the new numbers indicate that they will be laying off 18,000 people. Most of these jobs are not from their online center. Most of these jobs are laying off is happening in their brick and mortar kind of center.
Yeah, brick and mortar stores, right.
So the cost of doing business has been changing, especially in last 2 to 3 years. The salaries have changed substantially. The gas prices have changed. Everything has become more expensive than what it used to be. In these difficult conditions, there is only so much you can do in terms of increasing the price. It becomes very difficult for a brick and mortar type of store to survive, to compete with Walmart, to compete with other stores. That's why a lot of pressure in terms of the cost, the salaries, the payroll, and that's why the cut happens first on the payroll side.
Very cool. The brick and mortar stores, the term that Mr. AJ Kumar is using is basically, it means Amazon Fresh, Amazon Go, and PXT organizations. And Amazon company itself has created several branches, and these are some of the branches. That's where most of the layoff is going to be occurring. Overall, Amazon has 1.5 million workforce. That's globally. So 18,000, as you say, it's a small number,
Right.
but if you think about 18,000 families and multiply that by family members, sure, it's a big hit. And talk about big hit, let's talk about Bed Bath and Beyond. They've been in the news for some time. They laid off thousands of people, and now they are on a verge of filing bankruptcy. What's the latest on that, AJ?
Well, Bed Bath and Beyond has been losing money, has not been profitable. And if you look at the business model, the items that they have, they're not unique items. A lot of those items that the Bed Bath and Beyond is selling are available on Amazon, are available on Walmart, are available everywhere in your local store. So Bed Bath and Beyond is not selling everything, is supposed to be an exclusive store. They have some specialty item, but those specialty items can be purchased everywhere else as well. So that's, if you remember the Toys R Us type of story,
Yes.
Toys R Us, Kids R Us, they went out of business because they were in a specialty market, but those products were being sold at Walmart, at Amazon, everywhere. So it's very difficult for a specialty market to survive. Their prices have been higher than the comparative market price, and they have been struggling with the store. And if you look at their balance sheet, they have large debt. So initially people were thinking that this whole bankruptcy news is a tactic for them to renegotiate certain contracts, certain loans with their lenders. But now after 6 months, it seems that it may actually happen.
It may actually happen, and I just want to add a couple of key points into this story. Is that Bed Bath & Beyond warned just a couple of days ago it's running out of cash, and that's why they're considering bankruptcy. It anticipates a net loss of $385.8 million for the third quarter. All right, and their stock has been 52-week low. So obviously there is no sign of help anywhere for Bed Bath & Beyond. And now let's see what happens once they really decide to go and file bankruptcy. With that note, we come to an end of the first part of the Business Talk with AJ show. When we come back, we're going to have a lot more business stories, not only from US, but worldwide for you. So don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the second half of the Business Talk with AJ show. This weekly show brings you all the latest that you need to know from the world of business. When I say world, yes, the business stories from all over the world that we bring it to you in the show, courtesy of Science CPA Services, a full-fledged accounting firm. They have a large clientele because Science CPA Services provides very accurate and timely service for any of your tax returns, personal or corporate tax returns. So you don't need to look around anywhere else. Just pick up a call and give them a phone. 908-380-6876 is the number, 908-380-6876, or sciencecpaservices.com. Mr. AJ Kumar is associated with Science CPA Services with over 25 years. AJ, so do you really anticipate getting real busy soon in this month with the taxes?
It's already busy. So right now we are doing the year-end reconciliation, issuing the W-2s, reconciling the 1099. 1099 deadline is at the end of January, not March, April. W-2s have to be issued by the end of January. So it starts getting busy. So the way we look at it in January is more about the payroll, the 1099, the completing the financial reconciliation. Then the actual tax return starts in February sometime. And then February, March is more about the business. The business tax deadline is March 15th.
Right.
And then the personal tax deadline or the C Corp tax deadline is April 15th. So it remains busy till mid-April.
Oh, absolutely. Have you had a chance to review Donald Trump's tax returns?
Well, not just me. A lot of people are reviewing it, and it's very complicated. I mean, in our last segment, we mentioned that it's more than 800 pages per year of the tax return.
Yeah.
So you cannot just review the personal tax. You have to see all the entities over there. And when you find out that he only paid $750 and the losses were $33 million, then you want to find out where these losses are coming from.
Exactly.
And you have to review all those taxes. So we will see in next couple of months, in next 2 to 3 months, you will see a lot of news about Trump taxes and the lessons that you can learn from Trump's taxes.
There you go. This is going to be a classroom lesson for the tax students. Anyway, let's move on with our show and the stories. First, let's bring in a currency rate, US dollar versus Indian rupee.
Absolutely. So currency rate this week was hovering around 82.8. We are expecting in next 30 days to currency to remain about 82.8 and go down to 82.5. The next 90 days forecast is to remain 82. A lot of it depends on how the Indian economy performs versus US economy. If the Fed increases the rate again in February, we expect the rupee to get stronger. That will push the rate down slightly. So when the rupee gets stronger, you can buy lesser rupees in terms of US dollar. So there are a lot of balancing factors that are happening, but our 90-day forecast is that the price per US dollar is going to remain around 82.
Okay, that's interesting to know. Now, when you say 82 rupees per dollar, and if I were to ask you a question that how much of 12,300 crore rupees translates into US dollar?
That's about 1.5.
Ah, there you go.
1.5.
See, now you know why Mr. AJ Kumar is so smart. Absolutely. And that's why I say that. He's the best when it comes to taxes also, Science CPA Services. $1.5 billion. I'm leading that number to the story Avatar, the way of water. Right, the way to water, the way of water,
Absolutely.
whatever that is, has made that much money, a worldwide collection, $1.5 billion. And so far, it has bit Tom Cruise's movie, The Maverick, just by hair, because Tom Cruise's movie collected $1.49 billion.
Absolutely. So this is one of the probably 3 movies.
Yeah,
So
James Cameron, the director.
James Cameron is the only director who have 3 movies grossing more than $1.5 billion. Titanic, then Avatar 1 and Avatar 2.
Yes.
So Avatar 2, even though the economists were expecting much better result, The movie is phenomenal from a financial perspective. It's doing wonderful. It's doing great. But again, the economists were expecting slightly more than what the movie did, or more collection, and that affected the Disney prices, Disney share prices. If you think about it, so even though the movie collected more than $1.5 billion,
Yes.
third highest grossing movie, even then Disney share prices went down because the movie did not do as well as expected.
All right, and
This is how you see the expectation.
And right now, Avatar: The Way of Water is the 8th highest gross movie right now, and it's going to break Jurassic World
Absolutely.
record.
Soon
Jurassic
enough.
World collected about $1.67 billion. So it's really, really interesting. Now, if that happens, let's talk about Indian movie, Bollywood movie at the box office. Recently released Rohit Shetty's Circus,
Yes,
and it spells
multi-starrer.
CIRKUS, bombed badly at the box
Absolutely,
office.
and it had a lot of big star cast in there. I mean, even then the movie did not do as well. Now it tells you, now you can't just fool the audience. You have to have a storyline. You have to have a compelling story. You have to have something behind just putting 5, 6 big actors and making fool out of everybody.
Yes.
That's what it shows in Circus. I mean, I haven't really watched the movie, and thank God, but I mean, there's a lot of bad publicity. There's a lot of reports that says the movie did not do well.
All right, and movie didn't do too well. But here's a very interesting story, viewers, that you will definitely enjoy. It is that Taylor Swift's cat
Yes,
is
I heard.
worth $90 million.
Yeah, that's amazing.
97 to be precise.
So that's probably
Can you
the
believe that?
most richest, I guess,
Cat.
the pet.
Yes.
But $97 million for a cat. I mean, I know I'm not worth $97 million. So that shows something.
This is unbelievable. I mean, because the money that Taylor Swift has and what the money has put inside for this cat is just unbelievable. $97 million. Anyway, now if you are a Hyundai or Kia vehicle owner, and that too one of the latest models of Hyundai or Kia, you need to be very, very careful and make sure that your vehicle is safe, because apparently there is some kind of social media challenge is going on, where on that social media the perpetrators or thieves are putting some kind of information that these two cars models are easy to steal.
Absolutely. So in the last news, they mentioned that kids as early as 12 years of age are stealing these cars.
Yes.
And apparently, you can hardwire this car with a USB drive and with a screwdriver.
Yeah.
So Kia and Hyundai are the two models that they identified, especially the cars between 2010 to 2021 are easy to hardwire. So the owners have to be extra careful. On TikTok, there was a challenge that can you hardwire this car and can you drive it fast. So please tell your kids, don't get into these traps. It's not worth it. It's not the right thing to do. There is no rush in driving car fast. It doesn't really achieve anything, and don't fall into any such social challenges. This is not for good kids.
But regardless of that, you should really, really make sure that your vehicle is safe. Lately, Range Rover models are thieves' target, because even at the gas station or the parked vehicle, at the gas station, when someone's pumping the gas in the Range Rover model, they get into it and they drive away. And they are stealing Range Rover models because apparently they can get a really good price by selling it in the black market.
So the Range Rover is a sturdy vehicle. It has a lot
Yes.
of demand in countries like Africa,
Yes.
where it can easily go on tough terrains.
correct.
So these type of heavy vehicles have good demand. You can easily sort of sell them over there.
Yeah, bilkul.
That's why a
Absolutely.
lot of stealing happening for that type of vehicle.
Yep. All right. Here's an interesting story. Now we're going to bringing you a story from India. Of course, US is also related to it. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella made a very positive, very encouraging statement. He said that he wants to help India become 1 trillion digital economy, meaning not personally he wants to help, but I guess he wants to guide, he wants to advise on how India can become $1 trillion digital
Absolutely.
economy
So
soon.
Microsoft can provide the technology, the
Yes.
infrastructure,
Yeah.
and Microsoft has a lot of resources. If Microsoft get aligned with the Indian resources, then they can really help. But you have to take everything with a grain of salt. You don't really know if it's to promote the business or if it's really to help the Indian economy. We'll see in months to come, in years to come, but Microsoft has right resources and if they have the right intent, it can really help Indian economy.
You know, big corporations like that, or if start to manufacturing in India, it will definitely
Absolutely.
help. Hyundai is already there. Apple has now entered in India, and Microsoft. You know, if they can have their software hub in India, and many other corporations follow with their manufacturing possibilities in India, this could make a difference.
Absolutely.
All right, what could make a difference when it comes to India's cricket team? Here's my favorite subject: Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma. Should they remain part of the team or not? Because India is already getting ready for the World Cup. That's a one-day World Cup, ODI World Cup, scheduled to take place sometime in October in India. And now there is a talk that Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, they should be dropped, and younger players should be given a chance.
Well, there are a lot of talks about, a lot of hype about it, and we saw the last statement from Mr. Kapil Dev.
Yeah.
He said the same thing. Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma should be dropped or should not be seen as part of the new younger generation team that we will be using for the World Cup. But I mean, take a story and then look at the same story from the Sri Lanka series perspective.
Correct. Yeah.
India barely won the first T20.
They barely won the first T20 by 2 runs,
absolutely.
and they lost the second T20 by 16 runs. They gave it a good fight, but I must say,
not the team.
Yeah.
Only 2 players put some sort of fight. The
Correct.
first 5 players were out almost for nothing.
Okay.
So that the team actually is not doing as well as you would want.
With the young talents, yes, we should be
doing.
very, very concerned. I mean, you know, India develops this talent, spending so much money on IPL and playing lots of cricket, and we still come up short. That's what the thing is. Let's see what happens. With that note, we come to the end of the Business Talk with AJ show. In our show, we never run out of the stories. The only thing we run out of is time. But meantime, we thank you so very much for watching our show. AJ, thank you for your input.
Absolutely.
Until
Thank
we
you.
meet again, same place, same time, I am Sanjeev Pandya, wishing you all happy and lucky and especially tax-free days ahead.
Absolutely.
So long.
And Happy New Year again.